Welcome back to the Fit Minute Podcast, Fitness for Real People, with your host, Gabrielle Mazar. Gabrielle interviews Michela Ricci of Early Bird PHX. Michela's mobile beverage service will be at the Pilates Tempe Reboot Social on February 8th from 2:30 until 4 p.m. Come by and check out the new and improved Pilates Tempe and enjoy a delicious refreshment. Some of Michela's drinks include pistachio lattes, lavender and ginger lemonades and teas, and don't worry, she's got alternative milks for the health conscious. Check out Early Bird PHX on Instagram at Early Bird PHX. And now here's your host, personal trainer and stretch therapist, Gabrielle Mazar.
Welcome back to the Fit Minute Podcast, Fitness for Real People. I'm your host, Gabby Mazar, and on today's episode, we're not really going to talk a bunch about fitness. However, I've taken a few weeks off because I am trying to plan the grand reopening of my new business, Pilates Tempe, and today I have the owner of Early Bird PHX here with me. So welcome, Michela Ricci. Thanks for coming on my show today.
Thanks so much for asking me to be here.
Yeah, so I want to talk about, I invited you to come serve coffees and other drinks at my grand reopening because coffee is not necessarily healthy, but people love it. I drink coffee every single day, so it is kind of just a staple. And I wanted to share your local business with my clientele. And I'm sure that people coming in and doing Pilates and doing yoga are going to love that they have the option to come and have coffee. But you also do non-caffeinated, non-coffee drinks as well. So tell me a little bit about your business.
Sure. So the Early Bird PHX is a mobile beverage business. It specializes in coffee, but we do have, like you said, other drinks like chai, lemonade, teas, all kinds of fun stuff. And while we are mostly a morning beverage coffee service, we also are able to be fully customizable for events. So we can do any kind of drinks, whether you'd want that to be a mimosa bar or like an Italian soda bar. We really can do any kind of beverage.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's fun. I did not know this. For future events, I will have to keep that in mind. But yeah. Tell me how you got into this. Where was your start and why did you want to be a mobile beverage service?
So it was a surprise to me. It wasn't like this, dream I had for a really long time. I started in coffee and really just fell in love with the job itself. I loved coffee on my own. It had been something that I'd grown up with a lot. My family is very Italian, so my grandma would always give me a cup of coffee and a biscotti. And then Starbucks came about when I was in my teens, and my girlfriend and I would always meet up at Starbucks. And then just loved the product. So, fell into the routine of drinking a cup of coffee every morning and liked that community, that coffee community, whether it was, a coffee house, coffee shop. Started working at a drive-through coffee shop in the Valley that's very popular. The culture was amazing. And so the people I met just fueled me up as much as the coffee did. So I knew that I wanted to have something similar in whatever I went forth and did. And my husband was like, well, why don't you just do coffee, but do it your own way and make it mobile so you can go wherever you want? I was like, why do you have to be so smart? You're right. Okay. And so I'm loving it. I'm a year and a half in, and I totally love the job.
Yeah, my go-to coffee place was Coffee Plantation. Mm-hmm. There was one right around the corner from me, and that's where we always met up. That and Seattle Espresso. And I worked one day at Coffee Plantation, and that was enough for me.
Not a fan of the job, huh?
I was in the service industry for a long, long time. So I was a server, I was a hostess, I was a bartender, I was a manager. I did it all. But for some reason, that one day at Coffee Plantation was like, yeah, no, I don't want to do this.
So funny.
It wasn't fast-paced enough for me.
Really?
Yeah.
You must have been in the afternoon, not the morning.
I don't really know what it was. I didn't love it. But I love sitting in a coffee shop drinking coffee.
Yes, I enjoy that now, especially being the one on the other side of the counter.
Yeah, so tell me, you talked about like all the drinks that you do, and so you don't do just coffee drinks, and I think that's really fascinating because you think about just coffee. You're a coffee truck. So explain more about what else you do. I didn't even know you could have a liquor license.
So, yeah, we just opened up sort of that other side of the business at the end of this last year, but started with specialty coffee, and that will always be the main part of the business is the Early Bird side.
Right.
I wanted to be able to do special events as well, so we've opened up what we call the night owl side of the business.
Cute.
And so long as it were on private property, and it would be the situation that you would provide the alcohol to us, and we will act as your bartenders, and we will provide the mixers, the cups, the ice, etc., that we don't have to carry a liquor license. We just have liquor liability for insurance.
That's really cool. So since this is a health and fitness podcast, I want to talk a little bit about the stresses of opening your own business. I talk a lot about like reducing stress and how to deal with that. And most of the people that come on my show are small business owners. So tell me a little bit about what you went through opening it up and how you deal with being a business owner.
Sure. So I feel like I almost have the reverse story where I opened the business because I was coming from a stressful place. And a lot of that stemmed from job-related stress. So I've since discovered through many personality tests, and I'm really into the Enneagrams right now. I'm definitely the achiever, type 3 Enneagram. So I always was working, I felt harder than most of my bosses. And that got really tiring, you know, and like, especially when it came to other small businesses or local businesses, I felt at times working harder than the owner of the business, which led to so much stress. Coupled that
and you're
with
taking on so much.
Right. I'm also an empath, so I'm like, I don't understand how to deal with all of this. Also at the time, dealing with a lot of family trauma, and I was just falling apart. Like, I had no control over anything. And once my husband presented this idea of having something to have control over, I couldn't let go of that idea.
Yeah. I love that because I'm not really an empath. I don't know why I'm not even gonna say it, but I am the achiever. I have to, like, I set a goal and like, by God, I'm gonna achieve that goal, hell or high water. Like, it is gonna happen. But for me, I don't like people being my boss. Like, I like to be my own boss. Don't tell me what to do. So that takes the stress away from me. My stress is the same for being in a job where I know that I'm doing a good job, and then your boss is always telling you that you're doing something wrong or you're not doing enough. And it's like, meh, you know, I don't want to do that. So I'm kind of the reverse as well. But then there's still the stresses of the unknown of being a business owner. You know, it's never easy. It's never just like you follow your passion. Because I talk about a lot about that too. And I really encourage people to follow their passion because I think it helps you mentally and physically. So following your passion is something you can do to kind of get rid of those daily stressors of things you can't control to help you control the things, you know. So yes. I love that you have something like that. So you could tell me a little bit more about, you know, your schedule and how you kind of set things up to fit your life.
Sure. So exactly, like you nailed it. I was manifesting physical issues because of the stress that was going on in my life. I had started clenching my jaw at night, and I didn't even really notice it until my dentist pointed out I was breaking the enamel on my teeth. And I was like, well, that makes sense why I have a headache every single morning, and my jaw is in immense pain. Developed something called costochondritis in my chest, which is the inflamed cartilage in your chest and your rib cage. That was from stress. And so, you know, that pains me weekly from the inflammation. And so I'm like, you know, this is just spiraling, and I really need to get a grasp of it. So part of why I chose to do exactly what I'm doing and owning a mobile coffee business was setting up my day-to-day to look as healthy as it could be. I knew working in coffee that I thrived getting up really early in the morning and feeling purposeful, and then having the rest of the day already, kind of set up, rather than work later in the day. I found it hard to get myself up in the morning unless I had to, and then that just dragged the day out longer and didn't feel as good. So I really mentally set myself up with this job on purpose.
I love that. That is amazing.
It's going well. So.
Yeah. So is that how you came up with Early Bird? Tell me how you developed Early Bird and where that came about.
That as a name was very easy. That was quick.
Yeah.
Luckily, no one else in the valley had it really. So
That's a hard one. Coming up with a name to me is the hardest of all, because it's like everything's taken.
Yes.
Yeah. So Early Bird, that's kind of lucky. I mean, you would think that there would be something out there.
Definitely. There's like one little cafe in Pine, so I figured we're far enough apart. I'm mobile.
Unless you drive up
My
to
full
Pine.
name is Early Bird Phoenix, and that's
Yeah.
why we do have the PHX in there. So kept it a little separate.
Yeah, I know you do. You do a lot of like branding workshops and stuff like that. What is?
So when I worked prior to the Early Bird for a coffee company, a local brewery, I did a lot of branding and marketing work, as well as social media, and I really loved it. I just found it to, come really easily to me, and that it was always changing. It was interesting to keep up with. There was something, educational about it. So I love to keep up with that, and in working on the Early Bird, definitely loved the branding part. I just got more into it. It's hard to do on your own business, for sure. And so I wanted to help other small business owners if they felt blocked by that branding process. So I've been I just hosted our first workshop and doing a little bit of consulting on that end, which is really fun.
Yeah, I'm not. I hate branding. Ugh, I hate social media too. And I'm on it all the time, so people probably wouldn't know that, but I hate it. I hate posting pictures of myself. I'm so not
It's
that
hard.
person.
Mm-hmm.
I look at it. I look at other people. I'm like, that is so cute. And how do they just have somebody follow them around with a camera? And me, I'm like, here, take a picture. And then it's like, one eye is closed and I'm snarling my tooth or something. Like, it just is not.
You just need to do one shoot, get yourself all set up with all these good pictures, and then you can just pump them out when you want.
Yeah, that doesn't work either, because then I've stockpiled all these pictures and I'm like, nope, 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 nope. The stresses of owning your own business. See what I'm talking about?
I can run your social media and you can train me because I hate working out. So we can find a mutual ground.
See that there's the mutual ground.
This is why it's nice to meet not just like-minded people, but
yeah. You tend to, speaking of like-minded people, I've noticed that recently, especially, over the course of the last year or two, that I've really created a community of people, of a lot of like-minded people. And it's funny how paths just kind of cross, because someone referred me to you, and as soon as I saw your Instagram, I was like, oh my gosh, she's so stinking cute. I have to call her. And I've been when you put out those intentions and when you're in a good state of mind, things tend to happen in a positive way. So a lot of positivity has come from that. So do you experience that same thing in your business? Do you feel like that's...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what you put out, for sure.
Well, yeah, you definitely, if you're exuding confidence and positivity, positive things come. I feel like if you're doing it in the reverse, let's say, in your previous situations where you're stressed and unhappy, everything seems to fall apart. So,
absolutely.
You can, I guess you can find it both ways, but
I think there's the positive in social media, though. You found me through social media. You got referred, but
I did,
you got the glimpse through social media. And I think when someone is exuding confidence in that they're doing what they're passionate about, they're doing what feels right, it's not this facade of confidence. It's that
absolutely
genuine.
And I think
people can see it.
You can see, especially because social media can be either positive or negative to someone who, depending on where your headspace is, because you can look at somebody's page and be jealous or think how great their life is, but their life might not be perfect. It probably isn't. First of all, nobody's life is perfect, so I don't know why I said that. But their life may not be exactly what they're portraying. But I think you can kind of tell when somebody is posting stuff that is genuine, or when they genuinely love their job, or genuinely love what they do, or care about the people that they touch. You can see that in how they portray themselves, not just on social media, but personally, you know. So that's one of the reasons that I actually called you, because I saw that I was referred to you, for one, but for two, I saw all your posts, and like I just love the feel and the look and what you're doing. And sure, a lot of that is probably branding, but when I actually met you, I felt that way too. You know, I could feel that you had a passion for what you did, and that you really wanted to meet with me and to talk with me and to work my event. And for any of you out there, my event is the re-grand opening of Pilates Tempe, and she'll be serving drinks from 2:30 to 4 on February 8th of this, 2 weeks from now. And I wanted people to have that positivity coming into my space as well. So to have those, to like-minded people, and to have, that good vibe. Mm-hmm. And I like the vibe that you have. So how do you handle kind of the chaos of things that happen to come up?
Oh, yeah, because there's always chaos.
It doesn't. My favorite thing is when I'm like, I'm so tired. I've been working for 10 hours already. I'm going to take a nap. And then the phone rings. And you're like, why? Why? Why is this happening to me right now?
Boundaries.
Boundaries?
100%.
Absolutely.
It's new to me. I say that with confidence now, but I feel like I had to learn boundaries quickly. And I did that, and it's been everything for sure within, your personal relationships, especially business and entrepreneurs or small business owners, where business and life cross over just all the time.
All the time. I think that's one thing people don't understand, is that I'm working 24/7. Mm-hmm. I might not be in the gym. I might not be, where you think I am, but it's like I'm busy. And even if I'm at home and I'm taking a nap, my phone is ringing because the AC guy is there, or, the music went down, or who even knows what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Your bank account, somebody broke into your bank account. Who cares?
Oh, yeah.
But like, it doesn't matter what it is, but boundaries, that is such a key. I'm so glad you said that, because I remember when I first started my business, I would work whenever. Like, I got to make money. 5 a.m., sure. 8 p.m., sure. Sundays, sure. And the moment I set boundaries, not just for myself, but for my clients, for my family, it was like, this is what I'm working. And I remember I had a client one time get really upset with me because I didn't want to come in on a Sunday. And I said, you know what? Why do you get 2 days off a week? Because I get one. And Sunday's my 1 day off a week. And if that's not okay with you, then you can't be my client. I cannot sacrifice myself for my business.
Because then you're going to be shit on Monday
when
you have a full roster of clients.
Exactly. So I love that you said that, because it's so important for mental health, for your physical health, to set those.
I've learned enough, like I've depleted myself enough to know that just doesn't work.
It doesn't work. And you want to give the best to.
Right, because then you're nothing.
Yeah. So you're going to be at my store 2:30. You're also, that morning, you're going to be at a farmer's market.
It's a full day for me, yes. We do the Mesa Farmers Market and Flea. That's at Pioneer Park on Main and Mesa Drive every Saturday. That runs from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then we're just going to scoot on over to the studio, and we'll be serving at the studio about 2:30 or so till 4-ish. Mm-hmm.
And then do you have any other locations that you do regularly?
So Saturday's the farmer's market. We do the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office right in downtown Phoenix. Oh. That's every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7 to 10 a.m.
So if you're down in downtown Phoenix for work, you can pop on over.
Yeah, get a coffee on
your way.
Get a
coffee, or you sometimes serve.
I have pastries. I have a really great baker, Voyager Bake Shop, and she makes bomb pastries. She does homemade Pop-Tarts, and those are the big seller.
It's not healthy.
Not healthy.
But I'll allow it. I'll allow it if you're buying
every
them
once
from
in
her.
a while.
Cool. And then if somebody wanted to book an event from you, they could just contact you. It's at Early Bird Phoenix on Instagram. You have a Facebook page as well.
Yes, and our email is just hello@earlybirdphx.com.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming. And if you want to come by and try a coffee at our place, you can stop by. Pilates Tempe is on Kyrene and Warner, and that'll be February 8th from 2:30-ish to 4-ish. And we will love to see you there and try some delicious coffee. She'll also be giving away a bag of beans.
Yeah,
We'll be
coffee
raffling
beans.
off a bag of coffee beans. And we're having a silent auction. Oh, and a shirt too.
A
Ooh,
t-shirt.
Okay, coffee beans and a shirt. We're doing a silent auction and a raffle, and proceeds go to Phoenix Children's Hospital. So we hope to see you all there. And thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you so much for listening to the Fit Minute Podcast, Fitness for Real People, with your host, Gabrielle Mazar. If you'd like more information on today's episode, you can find it in the show notes, or you can find it on Gabrielle's website at www.healthybodyworksaz.com. You can also find out more information about Gabrielle's fitness vacations. To find out more about this summer's Banff Fitcation and our fall Fitcation to New Zealand, visit www.healthybodyworksaz.com. Be sure to share the show, give this podcast a great review, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Join us next week to hear more stories from people just like you. This has been the Fit Minute Podcast, Fitness for Real People with Gabrielle Mazar.